In the quiet town of Salem, nestled deep in the heart of Massachusetts, there lies a forest that holds dark secrets. "You won't believe me, but this is real," Ethan began, his voice trembling slightly. Salem, with its rich history and eerie legends, seemed like the perfect destination for his solo camping adventure. He had been longing for peace and solitude, away from the hustle and bustle of daily life. As Ethan arrived at the edge of Witchwood Forest, the breathtaking scenery filled him with awe. The towering trees, lush undergrowth, and the gentle murmur of the nearby stream created a picturesque setting. He set up his tent at a secluded spot, feeling a thrill of excitement for the days ahead. The tranquility of the surroundings was mesmerizing, and he eagerly planned his exploration of the forest. The first evening he sat by the campfire, enjoying the serenity and the sounds of nature. The crackling fire and the rustling leaves made him feel at ease. However, as night fell, a strange feeling settled over him. "I felt like I was being watched," Ethan recalled, "but I brushed it off as nerves." Little did he know, his seemingly peaceful camping trip was about to take a sinister turn. "I thought it was just my imagination," Ethan continued, his eyes reflecting the unease that still lingered. The first night in Witchwood Forest had passed without incident, but the following day brought subtle disturbances that began to unsettle him. As he hiked through the forest, he heard faint whispers echoing between the trees. Ethan dismissed them as the wind, but the sound sent chills down his spine. He came across strange symbols carved into the trees, intricate and otherworldly. The sense of being watched grew stronger with every step. When he returned to his campsite that evening, he found his belongings slightly disturbed, though nothing was missing. It was like someone, or something, had been there, Ethan recalled. The feeling of unease was palpable, but he tried to brush it off and enjoy his night. His curiosity led him to discover an old, overgrown path leading deeper into the forest. "I decided to explore it the next day," Ethan said, hoping it would be an exciting adventure. But as the night fell, the disturbances escalated. Shadows seemed to move in the corners of his vision, and the whispers grew louder, sending chills down his spine. "I was feeling uneasy," Ethan admitted. "Little did I know, this was only the beginning." Then the first strange event happened, and everything changed, Ethan recounted, his voice shaking slightly. The decision to explore the old, overgrown path leading deeper into the forest had seemed like a harmless adventure, but it quickly turned into something far more sinister. As he ventured deeper into the forest, the air grew colder, and the shadows seemed to lengthen. The faint whispers grew louder, echoing through the trees like a haunting melody. The feeling of being watched intensified, and every rustle of leaves made his heart race. Suddenly, Ethan saw a ghostly figure in the distance. It was barely visible, shrouded in mist, but its presence sent a wave of terror through him. He froze, unable to move, his mind racing with thoughts of what it could be. The figure disappeared as quickly as it had appeared, leaving Ethan disoriented and terrified. His instinct told him to turn back, but curiosity and a sense of adventure pushed him forward. "I should have listened to my gut," Ethan said, his voice filled with regret. "But I didn't. And that was my biggest mistake." The forest seemed to close in around him, the whispers growing louder and more insistent. Ethan realized he was no longer alone, and whatever was out there was far from friendly. "I wanted to turn back, but it was too late." Ethan's voice was filled with regret and fear as he continued his story. The forest had transformed into a nightmarish maze, and the once tranquil atmosphere now felt oppressive and sinister. The sense of dread was overwhelming, and the air seemed to hum with a malevolent energy. As he tried to find his way back, the path seemed to twist and change, disorienting him further. "It was like the forest was alive, playing tricks on me," Ethan said. "Every turn I took seemed to lead me deeper into the darkness." Ethan's exhaustion was taking its toll. Hunger and fear gnawed at his spirit, and paranoia set in. He began to question his own senses, doubting what was real and what was imagined. The supernatural occurrences grew more intense. Mysterious symbols appeared on rocks, eerie sounds echoed through the trees, and ghostly apparitions flickered at the edge of his vision. Ethan's mental state deteriorated. He was consumed by fear, his mind frayed by the unrelenting tension. The line between reality and nightmare blurred, and he felt himself slipping into madness. I was falling apart, Ethan admitted. The forest was tearing me apart and I didn't know how to escape. His descent into madness had begun, and there was no turning back. I had no choice but to fight back. Ethan's voice was filled with determination as he recounted the harrowing events. The supernatural occurrences had become unbearable, and his desperation pushed him to take action. He knew he couldn't run from whatever haunted the forest, he had to confront it head-on. As he ventured deeper into the forest, Ethan stumbled upon an ancient stone circle near a secluded glade. The stones were covered in strange symbols that hinted at an ancient curse tied to the land. The discovery sent shivers down his spine, but it also gave him hope. He believed that by understanding the curse, he could find a way to break it. The curse played with his mind, making him doubt reality. Paranoia set in, and every shadow seemed to hide a threat. Ethan gathered his courage and decided to confront the malevolent forces. He used the symbols and artifacts he had found, hoping to counteract the curse's power. The forest came alive with malevolent energy. Ghostly apparitions appeared, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. The ground trembled and the wind howled, carrying with it the voices of the past. Ethan fought with all his strength, his heart pounding with fear and resolve. "I still remember that night," Ethan began, his voice tinged with a haunting memory. The forest had grown darker, and the air was thick with a sense of impending doom. The final confrontation with the supernatural forces was inevitable, and he steeled himself for the battle ahead. As he gathered around the ancient stone circle, the symbols and artifacts seemed to pulse with an eerie light. The wind howled, carrying with it the voices of the past. Ghostly apparitions appeared, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. The ground trembled, and the forest seemed to come alive with malevolent energy. Ethan stood his ground, his heart pounding with fear and resolve. He began to chant the incantations he had discovered, hoping to break the curse and banish the spirits once and for all. The air crackled with energy, and the forest was filled with the sounds of the supernatural battle. Suddenly, the spirits became more aggressive, their forms twisting and writhing as they attacked him. Ethan fought valiantly, but the malevolent forces were too strong. With a final, anguished cry, he felt the curse tightening its grip. As the ritual reached its climax, the forest was filled with a blinding light. When the light faded, the spirits were gone, and the oppressive presence had lifted. Ethan found himself back at his campsite, the curse seemingly broken but at a great cost. He had survived, but the haunting memories of that night would stay with him forever.